I'm Muhammed Hamdan and this is Nightline, and here are the top stories. Violent storm damages buildings, leaves 10 with injuries. And social media influence and emotional impulse among factors behind 14-year-old student's fatal stabbing of schoolmate. Good morning. A woman was injured while 9 school students sustained minor injuries after a violent storm hit parts of the Kuala Langat district in Selangor on Wednesday. The incident, which occurred at about 4:24 p.m., also damaged several buildings. Viral video clips on social media showed a tornado-like storm ripping off the roofs of schools, buildings and houses. Among the affected buildings was Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Sijangkang Jaya, where classes were still in session when the storm struck. In one of 40-second video, believed to have been recorded by school staff, debris and roofing sheets were seen swirling in the air. Another video showed part of the school's roof collapsing. Motorists were also seen frantically maneuvering their vehicles to evade flying debris during the storm. The storm also caused the collapse of the Sijangkang State Assembly Coordinator's office, an 800-square-foot building located in Teluk Panglima Garang, trapping a 51-year-old woman under the debris. A team of firefighters from the Sri Andalas Fire and Rescue Station rushed to the scene and rescued the woman at around 5 p.m. The victim sustained injuries to her waist and thigh. The collapse also affected a nearby surau, leaving 9 students with minor injuries. All victims were treated by medical personnel at the scene. The teenage boy who allegedly stabbed his 16-year-old schoolmate to death at their secondary school in Bandar Utama, Petaling Jaya on Tuesday was found to have harbored secret feelings for the victim. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Shazli Kaha said initial investigations indicate that the 14-year-old suspect's actions may have been driven by emotional impulses and the influence of social media.
Siasatan awal juga mendapati suspek dan mangsa tidak mempunyai hubungan atau interaksi sebelum kejadian. Adalah dipercayai faktor dorongan emosi dan pengaruh media sosial dikenal pasti sebagai antara punca tindakan suspek berkelakuan sedemikian.
Speaking at a media conference in Shah Alam, Shazli said the suspect was allegedly a secret admirer of the victim but had never expressed his feelings to her. The suspect and the victim were studying in Form 1 and Form 3 remove classes respectively. Police also confirmed that a handwritten note in Chinese, which has been circulating on social media, was found in the suspect's possession at the time of arrest.
Ya, kita semasa tangkapan dibuat dan pemeriksaan awal, kita telah memperolehi dokumen tersebut dan dalam siasatan pihak kawal penyiasat.
Shazli added that the suspect tested negative for drugs and had no prior disciplinary record at school. So far, 57 individuals, including teachers, students and family members, have given their statements. It was reported that the female student was attacked with sharp weapons in the girls' toilet at the school. She was pronounced dead at the scene at about 9:30 a.m. In another development, Shazli revealed that 2 knives and a karambit linked to the fatal stabbing case had been purchased online by the suspect.
Siasatan awal mendapati bahawa suspek memperolehinya dengan membeli secara online. Itu satu tempoh yang lama juga.
He added that although the suspect had 3 weapons, only one 30-centimeter knife was used to stab the victim. The post-mortem examination found that the cause of death was multiple stab wounds to the neck and chest, although the exact number of injuries will be confirmed once the full report is finalized. Shazli also said that police will step up patrols to ensure the safety of students and staff at all schools. In the meantime, the victim's body was claimed by her family at about 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday for funeral arrangements. The post-mortem on the 16-year-old female student was completed at the University Malaya Medical Center on Tuesday night. According to a funeral notice issued by the family, the wake will be held at Nirvana 2 Bukit Seputeh from Thursday to Sunday. allowing relatives, friends, teachers and students to pay their final respects. The victim's body will then be cremated on Monday. However, media personnel are not permitted to record footage at the location out of respect for the family's privacy. At the victim's school in Petaling Jaya, students, parents and members of the public were seen coming to pay their respects. Bouquets of flowers were placed beneath the school's signboard along the wall near the main gate, some accompanied by handwritten notes expressing condolences and sympathy over the student's passing. Meanwhile, the 14-year-old suspect has been remanded for 7 days by the Petaling Jaya Magistrates Court to facilitate police investigations into the murder case. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Shahril Anwar Mustafa on Wednesday, following an application by the authorities. During the proceedings, the suspect, who was represented by lawyer Anwar Izzat, was present wearing an orange lock-up shirt. However, the suspect was not seen on the court grounds, as it was understood that he was brought in around 9 a.m. through a different route due to security reasons. The case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code. In a related development, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has assured that the government will take firm action to address issues concerning school safety and student discipline. The Prime Minister said the matter would be discussed by the Cabinet in the near future to identify measures that can be implemented immediately. The move will include examining the impact and influence of social media use on children.
Tetapi hampir kesemuanya balik kepada telefon bimbit, smartphones dan social media dan apps. Jadi mungkin hari ini atau esok saya akan mensurat Jemaah Menteri harus ambil tindakan tegas. Tentunya ada pelbagai reaksi, tapi harus ada tindakan tegas.
Anwar said this to reporters in the wake of several recent incidents in schools, including Tuesday's fatal school stabbing in Bandar Utama. He was met after attending the Finance Ministry's monthly assembly in Putrajaya on Wednesday. In the meantime, the Education Ministry will present the findings of the school safety audit soon to ensure that comprehensive improvements can be implemented. Its Minister Fadlina Siddiq said the audit also aimed to strengthen safety measures across all educational institutions under the ministry. In a statement, Fadlina acknowledged that recent incidents involving safety issues at educational institutions have exposed weaknesses that must be promptly addressed. She noted that the ministry does not regard these incidents as isolated cases, but rather as a call for systemic improvement. Fadlina added that several measures will be implemented in the near future to ensure student safety is not compromised, including enhancing mental health intervention programs across all educational institutions under the ministry. Earlier, the ministry stated that the installation of closed-circuit television (CCTV) cameras at 200 high-risk schools nationwide, involving an allocation of 3 million ringgit, is expected to be completed next month. The initiative aims to enhance student safety within school compounds and dormitory areas. Fadlina said schools with records of bullying cases over the past 2 years will be prioritized for the CCTV installation. Meanwhile, the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) has warned that legal action can be taken against individuals who share photos or videos related to the stabbing incident. In a statement on Wednesday, the Commission has urged the public to act responsibly and refrain from sharing, resending or uploading any photos or videos depicting the victim or other students or the location of the tragedy. MCMC added that spreading photos or videos of the victim not only violates the privacy and dignity of the family involved, but also disrupts the ongoing police investigations. MCMC also advised anyone who has already uploaded such content to delete it immediately. Now, the rise in school violence should not be blamed on any single party, but rather seen as a reflection of society as a whole. Professionals believe that the issue is a collective problem and society should step up in order to address the matter. Dr. Hazrina Begum Abdul Hamid, a senior lecturer at University Malaya's Faculty of Law, said society has overlooked the issue for too long, allowing it to escalate into a serious social problem.
We are part of the society. We have been fostering and facilitating violence and even school violence. How? By remaining quiet. There's so much of secrecy, institutional silence. We've been keeping quiet all the time.
Meanwhile, Mental Illness Awareness and Support Association MIASA President Anita Abu Bakar said unsupervised social media use and parental neglect also contribute to the rising incidence of violence among school children.
So, yes, the influence of the media can be pronounced, but it is still a parent's responsibility to be able to nurture the kids or the child's resilience, the critical thinking skills, and although the parent does as much as possible to protect, I would say, children from harmful content, but we can't necessarily block them from harmful algorithm, but then they can equip the child with the tools to navigate them safely.
Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has criticised the opposition as ignorant for questioning Khazanah Nasional Berhad's 600 million ringgit investment to preserve Kuala Lumpur's historic landmarks, including Karkosa Srinegara. The Prime Minister stressed that the initiative is aimed at protecting the nation's historical and cultural heritage.
Ini masalah kadang pembangkang, dia tak baca. Pembangunan ni yang 600 juta bukan Karkosa, satu bangunan Karkosa Srinegara. Dua. Keduanya, ini warisan. Saya bangga dengan sejarah saya. Saya bangga dengan bangunan Sultan Muhammad sebagai warisan Raja-Raja Melayu yang ada juga peranan, termasuk bukaan Kuala Lumpur. Di samping itu, kita jaga supaya bangunan-bangunan belakang, termasuk kalau ada gereja, kuil Hindu, yang belakang kita tidak abaikan, bangunkan sekali.
Anwar said the investment made by Khazanah was part of the government's effort to restore historic buildings as symbols of national heritage and independence. On Monday, opposition leader Datuk Seri Hamzah Zainuddin questioned the government's decision to announce the investment for the restoration of the heritage sites. Khazanah later clarified that the allocation not only covers the preservation of Karkosa Srinegara, but also 6 blocks within the Sultan Abdul Samad building complex. Fitch Ratings expects Malaysia's economy to grow 4% for 2026. The firm, in a note released on Wednesday, said the federal government's fiscal deficit target of 3.5% of gross domestic product in 2026 is marginally lower than its projection of 3.6%. This largely reflects the government's relatively upbeat projection that the economy will grow by 4 to 4.5% in 2026. Fitch also expects growth to be at the bottom of this range at 4%. The firm added that the government has sustained its focus on fiscal consolidation despite revenue headwinds from falling global oil prices. The government projects Malaysia's fiscal revenue over GDP ratio will dip again in 2026 to 16.1% from 17.3% in 2023. This trend is largely driven by weaker non-tax revenues, notably lower dividends from Petronas. Malaysia's carbon market is expected to serve as a key catalyst in driving green growth and sustainable investments. Acting Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability Minister Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani said the carbon market plays a vital role in advancing real climate action and attracting private capital for low carbon development.
Through this initiative, Malaysia is positioning itself to ensure that carbon markets drive real climate action, attract capital and support inclusive growth, both at home and across the region.
Johari said this in his keynote address at the Malaysia Carbon Market Forum 2025 in Kuala Lumpur on Wednesday, where he also saw the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between Bursa Malaysia and the Malaysia Forest Fund. He added that the national carbon market framework will be further strengthened to support more transparent and credible carbon credit trading. The initiative is expected to increase green investment flows into Malaysia, further solidifying the country's position as a regional leader in the low-carbon economy. Two killed in motorcycle collision. More from the local front after this short break.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Kadang-kadang kita tahu benda tu tak betul tapi asyiklah nak menafikan. Kenapa nak hidup dalam penafian? Juga bersama sukarelawan Sumuk Flotilla, Heliza dan juga Hazwan Yelmi. Pelbagai benda telur akan kami kongsikan. Kes influenza semakin meningkat. Risikonya terhadap golongan kanak-kanak dan juga golongan wanita. Rezeki itu takdir ataupun pilihan. Ini yang akan kita bincangkan. Bila bergurau antara suami isteri, perlulah berpada-pada. Kena tengok pada tempatnya. Semuanya di WHI TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
他们就自己被炸了，累死了。
Jangan curang ini, Pak.
She's shot.
Go!
Alibaba, Dastan I Kabul. Setiap Isnin hingga Kamis 4 petang. Di slot Sonia TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. All social media platforms will be required to implement electronic Know Your Customer or EKYC identity verification systems to ensure users under the age of 13 do not own accounts. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadil said the move is aimed at protecting children online and ensuring that community guidelines set by the platforms are properly enforced.
Platform-platform ini seperti melepaskan batuh di tangga. Ya, kami ada cara untuk mengesahkan identiti, umur. Kita meneliti algoritma, cara mereka meletakkan gambar dan sebagainya. Tapi gagal. Platform-platform ini gagal memastikan anak-anak bawah umur dihalang dari masuk ke platform-platform mereka.
Fahmi added that MCMC will hold a meeting with social media companies next week to discuss immediate steps towards implementing the requirement. The discussion will also involve several other agencies, including the Attorney General's Chambers and the police. The Road Transport Department, RTD, has begun equipping its enforcement officers with body-worn cameras and new pistols as part of efforts to enhance transparency, accountability and safety during operations. Its Director General, Dr. Eddie Fadli Ramli, said initial rollout involves 100 units of the cameras, which will be distributed in stages to RTD state officers.
Ibu pejabat kita akan letakkan terlebih dahulu di Ibu Pejabat JPJ Putrajaya kerana kita juga terlibat dalam operasi-operasi khas oleh ibu pejabat bersama dengan negeri. Jadi anggota-anggota kita di ibu pejabat banyak juga terlibat dengan operasi-operasi.
He added that wearing the body cameras will eventually become mandatory for all enforcement personnel conducting patrols and roadside checks. Eddie Fadli also confirmed that the government has approved the procurement of 60 new pistols this year to strengthen officer readiness in high-risk operations. In Terengganu, 2 men died when their motorcycles collided in Kemaman on Wednesday. The victims, 39-year-old Shamsuddin Yusof and 36-year-old Muhammad Alis Ismail, died at the scene due to severe head and body injuries. The accident occurred at around 8 a.m. along Jalan Kuala Terengganu, Kuantan. It is believed that both victims were on their way to their respective workplaces. Initial investigations revealed that Shamsuddin failed to stop his motorcycle in time and crashed into the motorcycle ridden by Alis, who was making a turn. The impact of the collision threw both victims onto the road. Both bodies were then brought to the forensic unit of Kemaman Hospital for post-mortem. Mount Lower Toby Laki-Laki eruption triggers fires alert. The details when Nightline returns.
Bersama menginsafi diri menyambut Jumaat yang penuh barakah. Terjebak di alam barzah.
Membelah hamba keluar dari sini.
Misteri doa malaikat.
Makasih ya Allah ya Rabb. Kau kabulkan doaku.
Sudah bisa melihat, Man?
Malaikat dengerin doa saya.
Slot Naluri setiap Jumaat 3 petang di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Geng JJCM, kita ada misi baru yang paling padu.
Rasa sangat otentik.
Dan Adi Hasnan akan bawa korang pusing satu semenanjung cari kari paling sur.
Kuah kari yang dicampur-campur ni memang sur.
Jom jalan-jalan cari makan musim terbaru dengan misi mencari kari.
Dah perfect lah. Memang puas hati.
Setiap Ahad 11.30 pagi di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
MHI minggu ini.
Belanjawan 2026 terus memperkasa rakyat dan memacu ekonomi madani.
Wabak influenza semakin mengganas. Jaga kesihatan diri anda dan keluarga.
Nak buat konten di media sosial pun kena ada adab dan etikanya. Bukan main tercah je.
Tiada lagi makanan proses dijual di kantin sekolah. Amalkan pemakanan yang berkhasiat.
Miskin selepas bersara, di manakah silapnya?
Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi.
Eksklusif di TV3 dan Tonton.
Welcome back. News from the foreign front. 8 trucks rolled into Gaza on Wednesday as Israel resumed preparations to reopen the main Rafah crossing following a dispute over the return of the bodies of dead hostages that had threatened to derail the fragile ceasefire deal with Hamas. Video footage showed the first group of trucks moving from the Egyptian side of the border into the Rafah crossing at dawn on Wednesday, with some tankers carrying fuel and others loaded with pallets of aid. However, it remained unclear whether the convoy would fully cross into Gaza as part of the 600 trucks scheduled to enter the enclave that day. The Zionist regime had earlier threatened to close the Rafah crossing and halt aid shipments over Hamas's slow return of bodies, highlighting the fragility of the Gaza truce that ended 2 years of conflict and secured the release of all living hostages. On Monday, Hamas returned 4 bodies confirmed as deceased hostages, followed by another 4 bodies late on Tuesday. In the meantime, Israeli forces carried out sporadic attacks on Palestinians despite the ceasefire. A medical source at Al-Ahli Hospital in Gaza reported that 2 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli attack on the Shujaia neighborhood. Israeli tanks also reportedly fired at Palestinians in the town of Bani Suhaila and the Sheikh Nasir neighborhood. This comes just a day after Israeli forces killed at least 9 people in Gaza City. The Pakistani Foreign Office on Wednesday announced that a temporary ceasefire has been agreed with Afghanistan for the next 48 hours amid recent border hostilities between the 2 neighboring countries. During this period, both sides will make sincere efforts to find a positive solution to this complex but solvable issue through constructive dialogue. The announcement came after at least 15 civilians were killed and dozens others wounded, including women and children in fresh clashes on the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. The clashes reportedly also forced some residents near the border to flee. Violence between the 2 neighbors has flared since explosions in Afghanistan last week, including 2 in the capital Kabul that were blamed on Pakistan. Toxic gas and a locked door that barred access to a roof were responsible for most of the deaths in a devastating fire in a Bangladesh garment factory and an adjoining chemical warehouse. Thick smoke rose as firefighters cooled the charred 4-story Dhaka building a day after a blaze on its 3rd floor quickly engulfed the plastic and chemical-filled warehouse. Fire service official on Wednesday said the victims were trapped as the roof door was locked, adding that most died from inhaling toxic fumes rather than burns. The government has launched an inquiry to determine the cause of the fire and identify those responsible for safety lapses. The tragedy, which killed 16 and critically injured several, highlights Bangladesh's ongoing industrial safety issues despite improvements since the deadly 2012 and 2013 incidents. Authorities in Indonesia have raised the volcano emergency alert to its highest level after Mount Lewatobi Laki-Laki erupted, spewing volcanic ash and an estimated 10 kilometers into the sky. The volcano reportedly erupted at 1:35 a.m. local time on Wednesday for about 9 minutes, following an earlier eruption 2 hours before. Authorities have already suspended operations at a local airport in the town of Maumere, some 60 kilometers west of Lewatobi. There were no immediate reports of casualties or damage, but authorities have warned residents and tourists to the eastern Indonesian island of Flores to keep away from the mountain and prepare for possible evacuation. Switching to sports now, badminton, the 2025 Denmark Open. 2 national doubles pairs showcased impressive form as they comfortably advanced to the second round of the Super 750 tournament on Wednesday. National women's doubles pair Pearly Tan and Tina maintained their strong run with a confident first-round win, defeating Indonesia's Febi Setianingrum and Rachel Rose 21-13, 21-17 in just 35 minutes. Up next, they will take on Japan's Arisa Igarashi and Chiharu Shida in the second round. Earlier professional men's doubles pair Tan Wee Keong and Azrin Ayub finally snapped their lean run after producing a commanding performance to reach the second round. The world number 24 defeated China's Xie Haonan and Zheng Heihan 21-13, 21-15 to set up a clash with reigning world champions Kim Won-ho and Seo Seung-jae in the last 16. Meanwhile, it was the end of the road for top men's doubles pair Aaron Chia and So Woo-yik, who suffered a shock first-round exit to a new Indonesian duo. The world number 2 pair fell in straight games, 17-21, 13-21, to unranked Muhammad Rian Adrianto and Rahmat Hidayat in just 33 minutes. Turning to hockey, the 2025 Under-21 Sultan of Johor Cup, Malaysia went down 1-4 to Great Britain as the visitors extended their impressive run in the tournament on Wednesday. The visitors struck first in the 10th minute with a penalty corner by Caden Drazy, but Malaysia hit back 7 minutes later through an equaliser from Adam Ashraf Johari. The joy was short-lived though, as Johnny Sturge-Hibbett put Britain back in front just 2 minutes later, with Monty Neve adding a third goal in the 26th minute. Sturge-Hibbett struck again in the 39th minute, delivering the final blow to seal a commanding 4-1 victory for Great Britain. The young Tigers will face India in their next match on Friday. And that wraps up this edition of Nightline. We leave you with visuals of Kenyan designer Morgan Azadi showcasing his upcycled outfits crafted from dump-site waste and market cast-offs in a first-of-its-kind fashion show in Kenya. With that, I'm Muhammed Hamdan. Thanks for watching and stay safe.